I know we all have that one spot on our island that we never know what to do with. It's not quite big enough to do something elaborate, and it's not quite small enough to do nothing with. So today I'm going to help you out. I have all of the filler build ideas that you're going to need for your island. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe for more Animal Crossing content. But without further ado, let's get into the builds. The first build is a red berry farm, and this is quite big for a filler build, but you can adapt it to whatever size you want. You can make it tiny, you can make it huge if you wanted to. There are a few tricks to achieving this look, and that is the red picked pansies, and also the umbrellas look nice as well. I think mixing in the different foliage, adding something a little bit extra here and there, like the bushes as well, really does add something. You can fluff out this build. I've made a jam making area at the back here with the stool, and I've also got a little seating area where you can come and taste all of the jams and jellies and donuts, of course. While speaking of delicious sweet treats, why not consider making a lemonade stand? This is a really versatile build again, and you can put it anywhere on your island. Makes for a great transition area, little filler thing. Don't forget to have a stand or a stall of some kind, and a cash register, and little custom designs with lemons on really kind of elevates it. Put it on the decorative bottles, on the boxes, even on a sign if you want to, just to make it clear what exactly is going on here. Also, don't forget, your customers need somewhere to sit and enjoy their lemonade, so why not add a little table or two? If you don't have too many items, or maybe you just want more of a natural look to your island, maybe forest core, then why not add in a crossroads and really make this all about the path. This is really easy to do. All you need to do is place down your path and then decorate around the edges, and there's something about it that is just so cute, and I really like the way that it looks, and it's great for transition areas because you can kind of fork off to all the different avenues of your island. Number 4 is perfect if you're working on a winter island. This is an ice fishing setup. This is great and is really made possible by these cute little custom designs, which are like little holes which have been poked through the ice, and then people can do the fishing in them. Obviously, you want to go to town with all of the little details here, maybe a little seat for the fisher people, and also lots of fishing rods. That is a must. I have also created a little shed area so that they can escape from the cold and warm up for a little while as well. Just an optional extra. Obviously, we have our main campsite, but I think the kids' tent are such an adorable item that having a little camping setup dotted around your island could be a really cute little way to go. This one's really nice. I've added in the futon and a little blanket, some cute little cushions just to fill it out a bit. I think adding those extra details to the kids' tents just is perfection. You definitely do not have to be doing a farm-themed island to incorporate some of the crops we have in the game into your builds. My personal favourite is the wheat crop, and as you can see, I've done this whole wheat crop field design, and again, this one can definitely be adapted to whatever size you want. Using the paths underneath is a really nice detail, and making sure you get all of those little farm elements. Maybe add in a little bit of fencing here and there just to elevate it a little bit so it isn't just lots of wheat placed down. Is definitely a must. In at number 7, we have this gorgeous little juice bar. Again, I've gone to town with the stool, and then we've got lots of different elements to kind of make it feel like a juice bar, like the blender and the little cartons of juice. There is some dropped fruit because, you know, when you go to a juice bar, they always have loads of fruit ready to be blended up and made into juice, so that's a must. And then I have just a little bit of a seating area. I thought it was a nice idea to do this outside so people can enjoy the sun and the flowers whilst they drink their nutritious drinks. If you want a build that isn't so pretty, maybe something that's a little more dirty, maybe perfect for an abandoned island, then a junkyard would be great for that. There is lots of different variations in the game now that have like more of a destroyed or abandoned look to them, and they are perfect for this type of build. Using the fences are a great item as well, and there's just lots of different dropped items that you can add, like the trash can, the trash bag, scattered papers. All of those sorts of things are great for this, and again, you could make it really small, just maybe have like an abandoned car moment in a little transition area, or make it nice and big like this. If you are a social butterfly and you love to host parties, why not do that on your island? This one definitely has more of an autumn theme, but you could really go to town with this, whatever theme you're working on. Just make sure that you add things like the balloons, maybe even the festivale garland. They're a nice little detail. I've also added some music and of course the food and the drinks. That is very, very important to get in because your guests will love you for it. A build that I definitely don't see enough on islands is a flower crown making station. The game has so many different flower crowns, we all need to embrace them, and you can put them down on tables, incorporate sewing kits, dropped flowers, and really go to town with them. This one is on my festival island, which is why it's a bit more kind of brighter coloured, but you could definitely use more muted tones and incorporate the different kind of flower crowns depending on the colour theme you're going for. Number 11 is something that it took me a long time to make in Animal Crossing, and I don't know why, because I kind of love the way that it looks, and that is a little wedding setup, like an outdoor garden where you have the nice aisle with things lining it, some seating, and then up top you have this kind of centerpiece. I went for the gazebo and some wedding items just to make it feel like natural and that it's kind of set up just specifically for this event and not like a permanent feature. But either way, wedding areas are a great way to easily fill up a good space. The next build is a little bit of a prickly one, and this is a cactus farm. This is something that I don't think you have to be doing like a full out desert island to incorporate on your island, mainly because the cactuses are so cute, so you could just make a little bit of a space for them. I've separated them over 2 heights, and I've also got a little stall where you can sell the little baby cactuses, cacti, whatever you call them. They are really adorable, and I just think these items are really underused. One of my favorite little kind of fake builds, which is perfect for a little filler area if you've got like a transition walkway, just put one of these next to it, is this little garden shed build. All you need is 2 storefronts, a simple panel, and I've used one of the loft beds in the middle just to kind of fill out the center, and then you have it. You have a garden shed, and then you can just fill it out with all of the different kind of farm items. I've even got some like little rain boots, the milk churn, a little flag, just all of those little details just make it a bit more fuller and just a little bit better, I think. Terraforming is another great way to fill up a space. Sunken areas like sunken waterfalls, sunken ponds, they all take quite a lot of space, so these are great things to have, and you can make them look really natural. Lots of different waterfalls. I highly recommend adding in like islands where you can put trees, maybe even little duck area. Just getting in all of those natural elements will make it feel a lot nicer, and I do love these areas. They're so much fun to do. They may be a bit of a headache, but they are really, really nice in the end. Another great filler idea is a swamp. This one I did on my coastal town, and it was more of a wetland feel, but I think that kind of goes in the same category. All I did was add in some little ponds to give the idea of that's where the water is. It's kind of low lying, so there's lots of like ponds and stuff. But alternatively, you could use fake water custom designs. There are so many good options out there for that. They are really, really amazing. I don't know how people do it. And then just lots of like foliage, bushes, wheat fields, etc. And then maybe a little bit of animal life as well. Maybe some butterfly or bug models in there would look great. Number 16 is a lookout point, and this is a perfect place to admire all of those wonderful views you may have on your island. I highly recommend placing down a little bit of a wooden plank area, and the tourist telescope is perfect addition to put here. You could also add a little bench or a seating area, because imagine this is at the top of a cliff, so they can rest after hiking all the way to the top. Honestly, this is really simple, really small, but really, really effective. I think one of my favourite filler builds I've ever done is this wishing well area. It's on my Springcore island, which is very green and flowery, and I just love the way that it looks, and the path kind of circles all the way around the simple well. And then there's a few little details here, like lots of nature elements, mushrooms, ducks, butterflies, and some little bells that are dropped, because you know you've got to make a wish inside the well itself. Just really simple, and this was the perfect spot to do it. I think I didn't do this intentionally, I just kind of made the most of the space, and it kind of worked out well. Another really versatile build for filler areas and just generally small areas in general is orchards. Orchards, you can do lots of different things. You can make some mats of fruit, You could do one dedicated fruit. You can add in lots of little details just to make it feel a lot fuller. And I've even incorporated one into a yard here. I think that this one is perfect for a spring island with lots of pears, and I've got things like buckets, boxes, even a little seating area in that tiny little clearing. This one is overly cluttered, but I love it. Number 19 is an apiary or just a beehive area. This is so cute yet again. It screams cottagecore to me. And one of the things that I always recommend is having like a little stall area where you can sell all of your like goods like honey, maybe beeswax candles. There's lots of different designs you can use here. You can even have a little flower field next to it for all of the bees to get their pollen. And I just think it's so cute. It's perfect for like an autumn island or just any islands in general, and you can make this as big or as small as you want. You could have lots of bees or just a couple. It works wonderfully. This next build is perfect for winter islands, and it was strongly inspired by Nina Tries, who you should definitely go and check out. It is a ski lift if you haven't figured it out. So you have the utility poles and the party lights as the main kind of structure, and then we've got the seats here and the like standing, the swinging chair benches things behind it, so they act as like the cable cars. I love this. Obviously you're going to need a cliff for this, but it's really effective. It's just a small little filler and it makes great photos, honestly. If you want to have a bit of a coastal feel to your island, or maybe you're working on a dock area, then don't forget a little ticket stall for your boat trips. This one was really simply done. All I did was put down a stool and a cash register, a little Nook Mile ticket to symbolize the tickets, and a map, and then just lots of nautical themed things. Just a really small, cute addition to any kind of coastal themed areas you may have. May work great for a peninsula as well. Since the 2.0 update, I'm pretty sure all of my islands have one of these, and I just love doing them. It is a coffee truck. So simple to execute but so effective. All you need is a truck, a custom design, and some coffee related items. I do also like to add in some seating out front just so that you can have somewhere nice for people to come and enjoy their morning latte. And as I said at the beginning, this works for every single theme, honestly. Another thing that I really like to do is an outdoor bar setup. This is such a tiny little build, but it works really nicely and it's so cute. This one I've put in a villager yard, and all I've done is add in the clawfoot bathtub, and then I've got a cosmos shower. I love those two combos together. It just works really nicely. And then add in lots of little relaxing elements around the outside, like candles, maybe a rattan towel basket. Really, really nice. And then just lots of flowers as well. I think that helps it. Who wouldn't want a bath in loads and loads of flowers? I definitely would. Flowers also make for great filler builds, and flower fills are one of the most simple things you can do in this whole game. I normally suggest picking a few different kinds of flowers and then just putting them down. You can complement different colors. I also do like to add in a little bit of detail, whether it be something in the background like the windmills and the balloons. This one is around a yard, which was just a really simple yet super effective with all the blues and the whites. I really love the way that it looks, but you can go to town with so many different varieties of this. You can also easily turn a flower field into a flower farm. All I like to do is keep your flowers, but then add little lines of dirt underneath, or you could do a whole like dirt area. That would work well as well. And then just go to town with all of those farm details to make it feel more farm-like as opposed to a flower field. So add in things like shovels, little plants, maybe some drop seeds. You could even add in a shed if you wanted to. Sticking with the farm theme, you could also incorporate a chicken coop into a small filler area. This is such a cute build, and there are some great designs out there that you can incorporate. I've here used some chicken hat designs and also the simple panels, which are nice as well. And I've even gone to town and dropped some white mushrooms to make them feel like eggs. They don't quite look like eggs, but they kind of do. Pearls would be a great alternative as well for this. But either way, it's all about those little details to make it feel more chicken coopy. That's not a word, but you know what I mean. Another classic build, but it is oh so adorable, is a picnic spot. These are great. You can use them in so many different places on your island, your beach, just on the land, maybe in a little bit of a clearing or as a yard. Honestly, so many different areas. And one of my favorite custom designs to save are actually like fabric codes, so you can make great use of them. I will say when doing these areas, definitely mix and match different heights, different items, use clothing items. Make sure you try and keep all of the taller items at the back so you can really frame the area nicely. Food items are also great to add in. Picnic spots are just a winner every single day of the week. A nice variation on a picnic area is definitely mixing it up and making it into a sewing spot. There are so many cute sewing related items in the game. The sturdy sewing box is one of my favorites, and also the little sewing kit is very cute as well. There are also some custom designs you can find to complement this, like I found a little embroidery hoop, so cute. If you don't want it all on the floor, then you could also add in a table and add in the sewing items on there. Either way works really nicely. Number 29 is a gyroid choir. I don't tend to do too many builds with the gyroids, but this one is still one of my favorites that I've ever done with them. And all you have to do for this is just get all of the gyroids in a nice little area, arrange them nicely, and then add in some musical themed items like the music stand, maybe a piano, a microphone, all of those things. And then when you get close to them, they'll start singing for you. It's adorable, really cute. I like this one. If you're a fan of ice cream, then you're going to really like these next few builds. First of all, we have an ice cream truck. This is something that we find a lot in the UK, where at beaches around summertime, and you can go up, get your Mr. Whippy. So cute. Anyway, if you want to build this in Animal Crossing, you need to find yourself a nice cutout standee design. There's so many out there, lots of ice cream vans, and they come in lots of cute colors. And then I add a stool behind and a sofa out front to make it look like a little bit of an illusion cutout standee van thing. It works, trust me, and it looks cute. And then alternatively, if you don't want a truck, you could also incorporate it, make it like a little stool. I did this one set up on the beach and I think it worked kind of nicely, and I think that having those extra little designs around, the dessert counter, the balloons, just make it feel a bit more fun. But you could definitely mix and match this to whatever theme, whatever color scheme you want. Pink was just an obvious choice for this island. If you're working on a town or a city island, then an alleyway is a great little build to do. All you need to do is find a wall-like item like the medieval sidewalls, storefronts, maybe even the castle wall, and just create this nice little walkway, and then you can decorate it however you like. I personally like using the plain party lights here and have them all glowing at night, and then just really city related items. The topiaries are great, the fire hydrants, even a little bin. A great build for a summer island is a surf shop or some sort of surf rental, and all you have to do is line up a whole bunch of surfboards and obviously some water sport related items, like the snorkel is a great one, maybe a diving suit. I added in the diving bug because it has this really cute little bucket, and I did put in a changing room as well so people can try on their wares, and I think it's just a nice little build. Maybe you could put it on the peninsula like I have. I just thought it was a perfect spot for it because it's close to the water. Terraforming is a great way to fill some space, especially water terraforming. Making a lake may seem like a bit of a cop-out, but I think it's a great way to add some space and fill up your island, especially if you're wanting to get it done quickly. A nice big lake can be definitely enhanced with what you surround it with. Some beautiful areas, maybe even like a little fishing spot, lots of trees as well. They do really make for some great pictures. On the flip side, you could make smaller ponds. These are great for sort of like duck ponds and just generally little spaces where people can sit around and just enjoy the beautiful scenery. I love to incorporate some cliffs and add in some vines just to add in those details. This one I did on my Springcourt Island, and I have a nice little waterfall going into it as well. Honestly, don't underestimate the terraforming abilities in this game when it comes to filling your spaces. Like terraforming, don't underestimate the ability of foliage to make some beautiful spots on your island. Forests are a great way to fill out lots of space, and I love mixing and maxing different trees, different heights, different foliage, so like flowers, grass, wheat fields, different items that you might find in a forest as well. So maybe like the mushroom items, animals, so you got to think about models and bunny day. They just make for beautiful scenic things if you get the right combination of items. Pumpkin patches are a staple for autumn islands, and they are a wonderful build to do. I just love the way that they look, and you can adapt them with so many different elements. You don't just have to keep to the crop pumpkins that we have available in the game. You can mix them in with some of the other pumpkin furniture and also bushes and other foliage just to give it a little bit more detail. If you wanted to bulk it out, you could also add in like a pumpkin carving spot, or maybe somewhere like a pumpkin stall so people can come and buy their jack-o'-lanterns ready for Halloween. Honestly, another great filler build, and you can make it tiny if you wanted to. A tiny pumpkin patch would look so cute. Number 38 is a record shop or record store. I love all of the KK sided albums. I love that they all have their own unique artwork on them, and there is lots of different little furniture items that complement this build idea. I just think it's a nice little filler thing. I put mine on the rocks, but you could definitely incorporate it into your island, have it like a nice little shop maybe. If you are looking for a very unique build, then why not look at this tie-dye station? This is something that I did again on my festival island, and I really loved it. I found some really cool custom designs on the custom design portal and went to town incorporating things such as the paint cans, a nice little table area, and some buckets and things, just lots of bright colors. I know you all love tie-dye really, and it's a little bit of a fun build to incorporate into your island. Definitely need to see it more. Definitely. Another build that I had to get very creative with and had a lot of fun making was this cat cafe. This is very pink because this was the whole theme for this island, but this is such a fun little idea, and I think you can take some of the items that you have in the game and really kind of make them fit to the theme. So I dropped like a fish bait to give it the idea that that is a cat treat. Also dropped like the pearl to make it feel like it was a cat ball, but then you can all incorporate those little ideas with the actual items that we have in the game, like the cat trees, the little lucky cat I had behind the stall. Just a really nice little idea, and especially a good one if you're a cat fan like me. A post office is such a classic build idea, and I think they're great filler builds and make for cute little small builds as well. You can really adjust them to whatever theme you're working on, color scheme wise. There's lots of fun things you can do with like custom designing pillows to make them look like parcels, maybe even using the gift piles from the Christmas selection of furniture. I think that making these like into their own standalone building is also fun, and I've done that quite a few times as well. Number 41 is an abandoned building. I haven't really done too much of the overgrown abandoned aesthetic, so it was really nice to do something a little bit different, really refreshing, and I had a lot of fun mixing all of these different furniture types and making sure that I could get lots of foliage in just to make it feel like a true building, a little house that was once standing but has been reclaimed by nature. Surrounding it all by trees was a really nice touch as well, I think. I've spoken about using trucks for coffee trucks, but why not make a whole food truck area? I've been to places in real life where lots of food trucks are all set up and people come enjoy all of the yummy food, so why not put this into Animal Crossing? You could have one truck or you could have multiple trucks, but either way you go, make sure you add some condiments, some tables for people to come in, maybe even a trash can so people can get rid of their food. I just love this idea, and I would also love to see more of it. Just make sure you try and find those right custom designs. If you're struggling to know how to connect your builds, maybe you have two spots that are nicely terraformed, then don't forget about land bridges. These are wonderful things, and you can do them in a number of different ways. You can do them nice and structured, or if you're working on more of a natural island, you could have a little bit of a snaking land bridge and then terraform all around. These can be really, really good spectacles on islands. If you are looking for a rustic style build, then don't forget about the pottery items we have in the game. You could make your own little pottery area, or you could make a whole pottery class. I managed to find some nice custom designs to put on the shelves, but honestly you don't need them. You can just use some of the clay items that we have and also add in a little kiln. Make sure that you have some shelves ready to show off all of the beautiful items that have been molded, created. I'm going to call this next build a roundabout, even though it's not round. I don't really know what to call it. A squareabout doesn't sound quite right, but I was definitely inspired by a roundabout to create this build. So this is in a neighborhood little area, and I thought it would be a nice idea to have like a focal point, but I wanted it to feel like a road as well. So we have cars, some little scooters and things going all around, and then in the center there is the nice little gazebo. It does just make for a great filler build. It didn't take much to do. It was just nice to have it like in amongst all of the houses, just make it feel like a true neighborhood. If you enjoy reading, why not make your own little dream reading spot on your island for when it comes to your next filler area? Make sure you add all of the cozy goodness, maybe a hammock or cushions where you can sit and relax and enjoy your book. Make sure to add a stack of books or maybe just a single book, and snacks and drinks, whatever it is you need to have a good reading session on your island. Another great build for avid readers is a bookshop. This one was done as like a little standalone bookshop, but I've also done little bookstools in the past, like a traveling book salesperson, which was so cute. This one has lots of books, as you can see. I really tried to get as many as possible using all the different varieties and lots of bookshelves. I think it worked pretty well. I've spoken about cutout standees already, but I just wanted to show you this little build as well. There's lots of different variations on this, and this is a camper van. I loved putting this on the beach, but honestly I've put them on land as well. Next to a campsite is a great option, but this one you can actually kind of like peek inside, which I like, and it's got like a little kitchen set up. There is a bed there, which I've kind of used to give it some height as well, but using the stools and the simple panels will just help make it feel complete, and I do love this. It's on my festival island, which is why it's like a little bit hippie-ish. Number 50 is another wintry build, and this is a hot cocoa stand. Now this is quite similar to a coffee stand or coffee area, but I wanted to give it a wintry twist just to make it feel more fitting to the whole festive period. So I've incorporated a lot of red and white, which runs throughout this whole island. And then I've got the Yule log there and the mum's tea cozy in the red variation. I think that just screams winter. Imagine your teacup being all toasty and warm thanks to that knitted thing, and the pattern choices here as well. But overall, I just think it's a cute little filler area for any winter island. A build that screams cottagecore to me is definitely a laundry area, and I love using all of the rustic washing items that we have to make these and mixing them with some nice fabrics. Like a little puddle custom design is a must as well, and obviously dropped clothing items is so cute. I love to put these on my rocks because I like the idea of having them close to the ocean, but you can also put them on land as well, maybe near a villager home and a little river. That would be really adorable. Another build that I see done quite a lot, and I think it's really effective, is a teddy bear picnic. I love mixing and matching all of the different tables, different chairs, making it feel like a little bit whimsical, and then just surrounding it with teddy bears. You can use all of the different variations. We have a lot of variations of teddy bears in this game, so you really need to make use of them. Picking cute kind of food items and drink items as well to kind of tie in your theme will look nice as well. But just a great little area if you've got like an opening in maybe some trees or something. This will look super cute. If you love the glowing moss items but you're not sure what to do with the cave, then why not make a whole quarry area? I love this split over 2 levels, so it works perfect if you've got an odd cliff space where you're like, I don't know what to do with. This works really nicely, and you can add in the little mine carts, even some train tracks if you have a space in your custom designs, and then just fill in with some of the other construction related things, maybe like a shovel. Some dropped items will make it feel a lot better, like the iron nuggets, gold nuggets, just that little detail. I keep saying those little details, but they work. I love Japanese builds, but I don't tend to do them myself apart from this one. This was a Zen garden. I liked the idea of this just because it was something different that I'd not really experimented with, and there is so many nice Asian Japanese themed items in the game that you can really go to town with. Obviously it doesn't need to be this big, but I just wanted to incorporate lots of different details, and the bamboo trees, which again I don't use much at all. I decided to use this in cherry blossom season, so you don't have to be doing a whole Japanese island to kind of make an area like this. I think it works wonderfully. Up next, we have a tea shop. This is something that is quintessentially British. It's somewhere that you would go, enjoy an afternoon tea, a nice little cuppa, and obviously a cake or a scone. When creating this, definitely think about like tables with all of the cloths over them, lots of nice dessert. The dessert case is a great addition to the game. I loved having that in 2.0, and little signs, maybe some flowers here and there. Just really think of everything that's quaint and cozy. If you haven't figured it out by now, farms are a great filler space idea. This one is a mushroom farm, and this is outside of a villager home, but it could work anywhere. If you have like an odd little space, you could just pop in a little farm there if you wanted to. One of my big tips for making mushroom farms is definitely mix up all of the mush furniture and also the mushrooms that you can actually forage for, and drop them down and kind of mix and match them. All of one type of mushroom I just feel wouldn't look as effective as having all of the different kinds, because there's so many different kinds in real life as well, so mix and match them. Rock gardens do take a very long time to make. You have to totally cover your whole island just to get them to spawn where you want them to, but I think they're worth it. This one was a little bit of just a filler space. I had this awkward space and all of these rocks, and I was like, can I get them to kind of sit there nicely? And I think they kind of do. But obviously people do these a lot of different ways. You can do them in nice little circles, make like a fairy circle out of them, but whatever way you do, just make sure that you give them lots and lots of decor around them. There are quite a few items in Animal Crossing which do lend itself towards like sciencey things, so having a little research station can be a great little build idea. You can obviously place down all of the bugs and the fish and items you find from diving to make it feel like those are the specimens that are being looked at, and then just fill the whole area with desks and books and all of those other things. Fossils as well are a great one. You can never have too many of them. Number 59 is a kids park, and this is another great filler build. You can add this to so many different areas, maybe next to a neighborhood or just on a walkway, and you've got like a little bit of space there. And I think you can definitely adjust the items that you choose depending on the size of the space you have. If you have the bigger items, then you might not want to put them in if you don't have a lot of room. There are lots of smaller items that work really nicely for a kids park. I like the springy ride-on ones, even the tire toys. Mixing and matching those colors is nice as well. Maybe a balloon or a ball or two just to make it feel a bit more childlike would be a nice touch as well. I remember creating an outdoor dinner area on my first ever island, and I still love this idea and this whole concept. You can add in a little bit of like a kitchen area if you want to, maybe have a table behind the whole main seating area with some food, and then just go to town with all of the different kind of tables and chairs, so it feels like the perfect place to throw a big family or dinner with your friends. It would just be a nice little setup. Obviously, let's hope it doesn't rain. I have talked about crop fields, but why not add in a whole normal field using some of the wheat field items, which we know everyone loves. You can also find a plowed field custom designs online, so you can have a nice contrast between the actual whole growing wheat and then the plowed field. It would just be a nice contrast. And if you wanted to, you could even add in a tractor or some kind of wagon, just make it feel a bit more farmy. But I don't think this should just be restricted to farm builds at all. I take a lot of inspiration for my Animal Crossing builds from real life, and this one was definitely inspired by just that. This is a dance studio, more specifically a ballet studio. I had so much fun making this one. I really love how pink it is, and you've got all those different elements that you might actually find in a real life dance studio, like the little details like the dance shoes, the outfits, the piano, even the metronome in the background, and the mirrors, and obviously the ballet bars, which aren't really ballet bars, but they are for this purpose. I just love this build, and you can make it really nice and cozy to fit in a nice little area if you wanted to. If you're wanting to make connecting areas, then fountains can be perfect for just that. You can make them really simple with just a little bit of a fountain, maybe some seating area, maybe some plants if you have the space for them. This one was a really tight little space that I was like, I'm just trying to try and make something a little bit structured, and I think it works. One of my favorite builds for winter islands, just generally, and also works great as a filler build, is an ice skating rink. You can do this in a number of different ways, but my favorite way is to make it more natural, have it surrounded by trees, and just this natural kind of shaping of the actual ice rink itself is nice. I love adding in all of those little details, even some comedy ones such as a first aid kit, but obviously like boots, scarf, custom designs, maybe even like a dropped hat would be nice as well. But structured ones are also nice, and I have done them before in the past, and they can take up quite a lot of space if you want them to. Markets make super versatile builds, and you can get very creative with what you sell at your markets. You can have a variety of different items, maybe even have a dedicated farmers market. These are a lot of fun to make, and I do like experimenting with different stalls, different custom designs, different items for sale, but there are definitely some must-have things such as cash registers, maybe even a little something special in the center just to make it feel like a real community market. Another smaller build is a painting spot. I love making use of the in-game paintings that you buy from Red, placing them down, and then they have this lovely easel area. You obviously have to use the little painting pots as well, just to complement them. You can even use the paint cans now if you wanted to. That would be some industrial painting, but I guess watercolors, it kind of adds up maybe. Definitely think about putting this next to like an idyllic spot, maybe a water edge, maybe on the beach. Either way, it will be very quaint and cozy. Number 67 is a snow person building area. Again, this is just a really nice, a little small, but very, very cute build. Obviously, you want to use the actual snow person furniture, and then you can go to town dropping little items around it. So drop like the carrot for the nose, maybe a twig for the arms, or even an iron nugget to symbolize the coal. I think those little drop details look really nice. And then you can just go in with your normal snow related items, maybe even some glowing moss, little stools that might look like bits of snow that are being rolled up, or even a shovel just to symbolize them like collecting all of the snow together to make that actual snow person. This next build was one of my favorites from my festival island. I named it like Songs by the Campfire, which kind of makes sense. All I did was I first of all went in with my path and made this like circle area. I put my bonfire in the middle, and then up top we have this little stage. There is a few little seating areas so you can sit down, relax. But the main thing here is about separating this off from different areas. So I went in with lots and lots of trees and kind of foliage around the outside just to really make that separation clear, so it felt like its own private little space. The next thing I wanted to show you was a vineyard, and I wanted to show that this doesn't have to be a massive open area. You can really adapt this to whatever space you have, and I have this little peninsula area, so I decided to make it work and make it fit around this. I decided to go in with lots of these different bushes, the umbrella designs, and I think these work really well. There are also some other great custom designs out there for grapes, and you can even use the actual hats, which works nicely. Because of the space I had, I also even included a wine tasting area, which is definitely an optional extra. An area that I sometimes struggle with is the area between the beach and the land itself. If you're looking for something to kind of fill that space, then beach huts are a great way to go. We have them in Britain, and probably they exist elsewhere in the world, but these ones are like custom designs, and then they have the actual hut themselves. These were custom designs that I actually made myself. They're not the best, there might be better ones out there, but they definitely work and they do the job. Fake buildings and little shops are great filler spaces as well. This one is an antique shop, and I love the way that this looks. This is more storefront as opposed to the actual inside, but it works really well for ACNH because there are so many different knickknacks and different items that would be right at home on the shelves of an antique store, and you can just adjust shopfront builds as needed for the space depending on how big you need it. If you have lots of water on your island, then don't forget to have a nice little fishing spot. You could put this on a beach next to the sea or next to a river or a little pond. Make sure that you have a seat for someone to sit down while they're waiting for the fish to bite, and then use lots of items that fit with that whole kind of little theme. So the fishing rod placed down is really nice. The flimsy one is super cute. It's very kind of rustic. And then you can actually place down some little fish as well if you want to get that nice little bucket appearance, or even the little bag is cute as well. I did mention about general markets, but I'm going to specifically mention about fish markets. These I've had on quite a few different islands, and I have done them in different styles. Some of them I've done really small up on a rock area, but some of them I've done quite big and really stretched it out. I love all of the different fish items, the fish drying rack, the items that you place down when you put the actual fish down are really nice as well. And there's just lots of great items. There's a good mixture of items that you can get down here for making a fish market feel really lively and like a genuine kind of place that probably smells very bad but looks great. This next build is very specific for Easter, but if you're doing a spring court island, I definitely think you can get away with adding in little Easter nods. So this is an egg painting or an egg dyeing area. This I had a lot of fun with. It has its own little cooking area to kind of hard boil all the eggs, and then you have lots of different painting elements as well with the tables. Lots of pastel colors here, which is just perfect for the season. Number 75 is a little flower store. This is really cute and super easy, super simplistic. Just pop down a little stool, maybe a little sign if you've got one, a cash register, and then obviously lots of flowers. You could have like a little bouquet set up as well. That would be really nice. I've seen in real life where you have those little market stalls where they just have all the fresh flowers. You could create something like that. Next up, we have a yard sale. This is a great build if you have some random items in your storage and you're like, I have no idea what to do with, because I'm pretty sure yard sales, that is just for selling random items that you no longer want. So all you have to do is incorporate this into the front of a villager home, and then maybe just add in a sign just to make it clear what it is. And I feel like that's normal. If you're holding a yard sale, you need to advertise it. Outdoor cinemas or drive-in cinemas are another wonderful build idea. Don't forget that we have the projector screen item and also the projector itself. And then all you really need to make this look great is lots of cushions, maybe a little stool or two, and lots of snacks. Snacks are a must. And don't forget the popcorn. You could even add in the popcorn maker if you wanted to, just to make it really feel like there is loads of people there ready to eat all of the popcorn and enjoy the film. I'm not the biggest sports fan, but there is some great sports items in the game. This one is obviously a volleyball net, so there is the net on the beach, and then we have lots of balls around. Just tried to make it look a little bit cuter. I even added in the beach chair to make it feel like a referee stand as well. Just a nice little filler. I had it on the beach, but you could definitely put this on land as well. You could even put dirt underneath it to make it feel like an actual court area. I've spoken about farms quite a bit, but I wanted to include this one as it was a little bit of a different take on a farm. As opposed to just having lots of crop fields everywhere, I decided to make out little individual flower beds or crop beds, and then I added in a couple of the carrots. And then this one was really about filling in the details around the edges because I couldn't get any more crops in. And I really just liked the way they came out. It was just something a little bit of a different take on a farm, but it does work well. And you could really adjust this to whatever you want to have growing in your farm area. Not everyone loves terraforming, but if you have the patience, you can definitely make some cool little features with cliffs and the water. This, for example, is a peace sign pond, and this was on my festival island, and I wanted something to look good on the map, but also good in person, and it kind of fitted with the whole hippie theme. I've seen some amazing things, such as like heart-shaped sunken areas. I saw that quite recently, and lots of different shaped ponds. There's so many different ideas out there, so maybe if you're just struggling for an idea, why not give this a go? I loved when we finally got cars and different vehicles in the game. I remember being so excited for it. So why not create a little car park area? You might be thinking this is very specific for a town or a city, but I think you can make it work for maybe a forest island. If you have like a hiking area, you could have a dedicated car park before it sets off on the trail and into the natural area. You can mix and match the different styles and different colors, maybe even add in some gas pumps if you wanted to. This next build is definitely aimed more at adults. It's a bar come kind of pub area. It is obviously outdoors, but I still wanted to add in some tables for people to sit around. You can get some nice shelf custom designs for simple panels if you wanted to as well, but the decorative bottles work really well. There's also other little kind of drinks that you can place down which will work. Who doesn't want a fancy cocktail in a fancy glass? Number 83 is a greenhouse, and again this one will require you to have some simple panels and custom designs really to get that kind of glass feeling and make it actually feel like a real greenhouse. And then all you need for the inside is lots of little plants, little pots, maybe even some of the starter plants. Those are some of my favorite items, and obviously some tools would not go amiss, so buckets, maybe a shovel or two, and the little details here will definitely come down to things like dropped flowers or maybe even dropped seed packets as well. This is actually my museum, but I wanted to use it as an example of getting like a little bit of a statue garden going. All I did here was put down lots of flowers, a little bit of a walkway, and then added in some of the statues. You could definitely do this with more of a symmetrical build, but I kind of like the way that it's kind of free flowing and you could easily just walk through, which is really nice as well, like more of a sculpture park as opposed to anything else. But the sculptures are great kind of items in the game, and they're big, so they work nicely if you wanted to add in some different heights and things. This one, I don't think I've ever seen anyone else make before, but this is a silent disco, and I thought this was quite out of the box, but it kind of works really well. So I have a DJ booth at the front, and then I did just add down lots of headphones so people can like come on the dance floor and then listen to their own tunes and dance the night away. I did find this tile floor as well, which I thought worked nicely, but there are obviously some nice lights and things that you could also incorporate in this build as well. Number 86 is a restaurant, and this one again I decided to go for like the outside of the restaurant as opposed to allowing you to go inside, but I think this looks pretty good with a mixture of simple panels. I even added in some diner items up top just to make it feel like a kind of fast food restaurant. There are of course lots of tables out front, and I think this is the perfect place to just pop down all of those food items that you may have. If you followed the channel for a while, you may know that I have a bit of an unhealthy addiction to portaloos. There has to be one on every single one of my islands now, and that led me to make this outdoor toilet area. It's very functional, I will say that. It might not be for everyone, but it is a functional build. It may work better on a forest core island, maybe if you have like a hiking trail. People need to go, let's face it, and why not do it in a portaloo area? Stables are a really nice build as well. It's quite similar to the other coop designs. You can also turn this into like a barn design as well, using some of those simple panels which some very talented community members have made. You can even find like actual horses, or you could put it next to a horse villager as well. But don't forget the little details like the hay bales, the dropped apples, because we all know that horses love to eat them. When the tanks were added into the game, I was a little bit confused as to what to do with them, but I decided to come up with this little kind of rustic jarring factory, and I just popped it on a little kind of odd space that I had left over, and then went to town with a little bit of like jarring station area, included a little sink. I also have a sugarcane farm here because let's face it, when you are making jam, you need a whole lot of sugar. I've already covered that I don't really like doing Japanese Asian builds because I'm just not very good at them, but I did want to challenge myself and make this noodle bar. I split this over 2 levels, but you could definitely condense it down and make it smaller to fit whatever space you have. I just love the combination of the stools with the noodle bars and then the little somewhere to sit. It's so cute, and there are so many nice custom design codes that fit with this as well. Definitely a nice little menu is very cute. Number 91 is a festival stage. This is kind of a cute little setup. You don't have to have it too big. You can definitely make it kind of small and quaint and cozy. I use some wooden deck planks for my stage, and then I just added in lots of musical items. The microphone, of course, is a must. Make sure you leave space so your little character can actually get up there and do a performance. And then out in the back, we have lots of seating, just kind of chilled. I want it to be like a nice afternoon in the sun, listening to some wonderful music. I don't know how we've got this far and we haven't mentioned a bakery. Yes, we've seen little cafes, but a bakery is definitely a great filler spot. You can make it as large or tiny. You could make a little bakery store if you wanted to. I just love the different variations, and I love the way that you can mix and match different kind of colors, different food items, depending on what your favorites are. Just like the bakery, you could also turn this into a bakery truck. I decided to make this like a cupcake. Imagine having like a portable cupcake shop. That would be like dream. I would love to own something like that. But I decided for a very cutesy feel for this one. Lots of pinks, lots of kind of cute pastel colors. But I think the trucks, I can't bash on about them enough for filler spots. They are so good. Up next, we have a gift shop. This was something that I did on my coastal town, and for me, when doing the coastal town, maybe it would work for a tropical island as well. You need a gift shop. You're going on holiday, you definitely want to pick up a souvenir or two. So this one, I just decided to kind of put alongside this odd space that I had next to my museum. I definitely didn't calculate it right, but it worked. In the end, I managed to get the right amount of space, got some good tables in there with lots and lots of different knickknacks, which worked wonderfully. This next one involves a bridge, but what I've done is I've made the tiniest little pond possible and then just popped the bridge over the top of it and then just decorated around it with some flowers, a bench, a little bit of fencing, and then in the background I've got a little waterfall kind of illusion moment with the castle items as well, just to make it feel a little bit more fuller. But these little bridge moments are so cute, and you can have them in flower fields and lots of different ways just to add a little bit of height and some interest, and they're very fun to run over. Another very whimsical kind of build is a butterfly garden. I know some people don't love the butterfly models, but I kind of don't mind them too much. I just like to imagine that the stick isn't there. But you can make a gorgeous little focal point with the kind of nuptial bell in the middle. You can even place a little butterfly on there and then just scatter around flowers and loads of those butterfly models. Kind of make sure you pick the right colors depending on your flowers just to tie them in nicely. Another build that I don't see too often is a face painting station. This may be very theme specific and not everyone is going to want this on their island, but if you have like a kid core island, this could work wonderfully. All you need to do is have a few little stations set up, maybe a book with all the designs, and obviously lots of paint and 2 little stools there ready for the face painting action to commence. Number 98, I just wanted to include a little writing spot. If you have like some really idyllic places on your island, then why not consider adding in a little table, a typewriter, and a little spot to sit so that you can get your typing and all of your work done in the most beautiful spot possible. Tree farms can also be a great space filler as well. You can mix and match all of the different heights and obviously stunt them. I love doing these on Christmas islands, but they definitely work for other islands as well. It would be cool to have like an eco island where they're trying to regrow the forest. That would be so cute. Obviously you need some other items as well just to make it feel more farm-like, so don't forget about things like hand carts. You can even place down a axe and actually drop some wood next to it, which is just a super cute little detail. Those are the things that always get me in this game. And finally, we've made it to 100 small and filler builds, and number 100 is something fun, and this is a toy shop. There are loads of cute little items, not just from the Toy Day stuff, but there is lots of different items that you can mix and match. Cuddly toys, balloons. Just go to town and really embrace your inner child with this one. Don't forget to have like a little cash register as well. This is just super fun, and if you want a lighter hearted island, then definitely consider something like this. So there we have it. That is 100 smaller and filler build ideas. I hope this helped. I hope this gave you some inspiration. Let me know in the comments what your favorite build is, and I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye bye.